In every classroom, from wooden desks in small villages to air-conditioned halls in major universities, there is one figure who is always present, without ever showing his face. He never holds a marker. He never writes on the board. Yet he silently shapes the way every student thinks. His name, Aristotle. A student opens a biology book. He reads about tissues, organs, species, classification, without realizing it. He is using a way of thinking created 2,300 years ago, that living beings must be studied through observation, not myth. In another room, students learn mathematics and logic. They learn to build reasons, draw conclusions, avoid fallacies. These are not just lessons. They are the fingerprints of Aristotle still working inside the modern mind. Philosophy, ethics, politics, rhetoric, all of them trace back to one name. Aristotle was not an ordinary teacher. He was the engineer of human thought. But the world has changed. Information no longer arrives slowly through books. It floods the mind through screens. Lies stand beside facts. Opinions compete with truth. Algorithms speak louder than teachers. And students become lost. Not because they are stupid, but because they were never given the tools to sort reality. Without logic, everything sounds true. Without method, everything feels reasonable. Without Aristotle, the mind loses its compass. Ironically, the savior of the digital world is not a new technology, but a man in a robe from ancient Greece. Aristotle did not teach subjects. He taught how to think. And as long as humans search for truth, his name will never leave the classroom. Every student carries a weapon to school. Not in a bag, not in a pocket, but in the head. Its name, logic. But who sharpens that weapon? In the modern world, everyone claims to be right. Politicians, influencers, media, everyone speaks. Very few think. That is where Aristotle enters. He taught that not everything that sounds clever is true, that ideas must stand on structure, not feeling. Premise, conclusion, syllogism. He did not invent complicated theories. He designed a map for thinking. Students today use that map to solve problems, write arguments, choose information, expose lies. Aristotle's logic was the world's first antivirus. The problem is, schools teach formulas, but rarely teach thinking. The result? Many students are smart, but easily fooled. High grades, weak minds. The digital world is full of traps, sensational headlines, false narratives, half-truth statistics, and those who do not know logic believe all of it. Aristotle saves students, not from exams, but from the world. His logic makes them immune to manipulation, difficult to deceive, hard to control. That is why he is not merely the founder of logic. He is the architect of intellectual freedom. Before microscopes, before laboratories, someone had already mapped the living world. Aristotle dissected fish, observed birds, recorded insects, not as a hobby, but as a conviction. Nature could be understood through observation. He wrote about organs, about growth, about classification. He did not wait for technology. He used his eyes. In his time, lightning was believed to be an angry god. Disease was a curse. Animals were dark mysteries. Aristotle refused. He said, find the cause. Open the body. Look, this was dangerous. He challenged public belief without realizing it. He gave birth to biology. Every science book today still pulses with Aristotle's way of thinking. Before universities existed, there was a place called the Lyceum. No uniforms, no grades, only questions. Aristotle built a way of learning, not based on memorization, but understanding. He taught while walking, through dialogue, by valuing disagreement. This system was called strange, undisciplined, too free. But his students became extraordinary. Modern universities are the intellectual grandchildren of the Lyceum. Has a teacher ever created a world conqueror? Alexander the Great did not learn war. He learned how to think. And his teacher, Aristotle. He did not teach the sword. He taught strategy of the mind. But power tests philosophy. Does wisdom lose to ambition? Aristotle's logic led armies farther than steel. In the modern age, schools teach mathematics, physics, languages, and technology. But who teaches how to remain human under all of this? That question already haunted Aristotle 2,300 years ago. At the Lyceum, Aristotle did not only speak about stars, plants, or logic. He spoke about something far more dangerous, human character. He saw that intelligence without restraint produces cruel brilliance. Power without values creates leaders who are both genius and disaster. He taught that life's goal was not survival, wealth, or applause. The goal was to live well, rationally, meaningfully, with worth. He called this condition eudaimonia, not just success, but wholeness. For Aristotle, ethics was not rigid rules. It was habit formed through daily choice. No one is born brave, just, or wise. These are built by choosing what is right when shortcuts are tempting. But the modern world builds skills faster than character. Students are pushed to achieve, rarely taught to restrain themselves. They are trained to win, rarely guided to stay fair when they do. So a generation is born, fast but fragile, smart but empty, skilled yet lost. And ironically, the most relevant solution for modern chaos comes from the edge of ancient Athens. Aristotle trained not just minds, but souls. That is why as long as humans search for meaning, his ethics will never become outdated. Have you ever wondered why schools look the way they do? Why curricula exist? Grades? Teaching methods? Behind it all stood one ancient mind, who dreamed of a world guided by reason. For Aristotle, education was not about producing workers. It was about saving civilization itself. Nations collapse not because they lack weapons, but because they lose the ability to think. At the Lyceum, learning was not listening. Students debated, challenged, rebuilt ideas. Aristotle was not afraid when students disagreed with him. He was afraid only when they stopped thinking. True education, he taught, shapes reasoning, not memory. A good student does not memorize the world. They understand it. Compare that with modern schooling obsessed with rankings and certificates. When numbers become the goal, thought dies quietly. Students chase answers, not truth. Yet ironically, today's school system still runs on Aristotle's framework. Discussion, logic, discipline-based curricula, all grew from the man who turned learning into thinking. While modern education divides knowledge into fields, Aristotle united it into a single vision of life. He did not treat knowledge as separate boxes. Biology explained ethics. Ethics clarified politics. Politics revealed humanity. He studied animals to understand humans. He studied politics to understand character. He read poetry to understand the soul. Knowledge is not isolated, he said. It is a web. Modern specialization makes brilliance narrow. One may master technology, but fail to understand people. Aristotle taught that true intelligence is not depth in one field, but integration of all. The future belongs not to specialists, but to whole thinkers. Aristotle is rarely named, yet our way of thinking is his monument. Every time a student analyzes an argument, questions data, draws conclusions, they walk on the map he drew. The world recognizes celebrities, but forgets the architect of its mind. Few know Aristotle, but everyone uses him. As long as humans choose not to stop thinking, Aristotle is not done living. He lives in every critical question, every honest doubt, every hunt for truth. Technology changes, speed increases, confusion remains, and for that reason, Aristotle will always matter.